You look good in that documentary. I saw you twice.
Last of all, somebody said, "Hey Jeff, why don't you write a book?" I said, "Hell no, don't want to do it." So they got after me. I sat down with Microsoft Word and I started typing. I think I typed up about 1,000 pages and got some pictures together and gave them to Luke Carlson, English professor at Western Michigan. And he put it all together in this book and my life story. I brought 9. Anybody wants? Oh, they're pictures that I drew as a POW. And yeah, that's me when I just about to go to the target. And that's when I bailed out. The way it appeared to me when I bailed out, and the way when I arrived through the trees, and pictures of the POW camp, the barracks, the whole shebang. And the room I was in with the barracks, I had a good time putting it together. And the picture that the German showed me of my class, it's all in here. But red tail captured, red tail free. Only got 9. Any other questions?
Where can you get more if you sell all the 9?
Amazon,
What's the price? You didn't tell us the price.
$30. $30.
Hi, Alex.
Well, I'll be done. Look who's here. Get behind.
Yes, sir. How are you?
From Clio.
Talio.
My God. Get behind.
I'm doing well, thank you, and you're looking
Fantastic.
good. And you were so good. Your audience really love you, and
Oh,
they
God.
believe in you.
Listen, Francis.
They have
Penny's here.
substance,
We're
relevant.
Kermit.
I have a delegation of people here today. We're all from Clio,
Yeah, sure.
Genesee County. And as you know, we in Genesee County have a vision. And Alex Jefferson is the center of that vision. Of course, the Tuskegee Airmen themselves, center of the vision.
I've been to Clio so many
And I
times.
just wrote a letter to the president, asking the president to come to Clio to speak.
Clio is north of Flint.
Yeah, to speak at 11/11 at 11. Does everybody know what 11/11 is?
No.
It's Armistice Day.
Armistice Day.
And to speak on behalf of all veterans in the name of the Tuskegee Airmen. I got a call back Friday, it was. And his staff said that they had received the letter, but they
Good.
don't name these things this early before the event. But I want you to know that we are all here in support of that vision. There were other people who wanted to come. But we had a long day today. We just left the college at SBSU and didn't get a chance to do all the things we wanted to, but we had to hasten down here. But we want you to know that we were here. We were supporting
It's a
you.
great privilege to have you.
And we hope to develop 125% size statue of Tuskegee Airmen in Clio as a lasting testimony to the work that these men did on behalf of all black Americans, all veterans Americans. And secondly, with the endowment fund, I'm almost done, we will provide a scholarship, an annual scholarship for students who best emulate the Tuskegee Airmen. And thirdly, we would provide money for the upkeep of the Veteran Memorial Park and for its addition. And I have here the gentleman. You might know that in Flint we have all of the GM and Chrysler automobile magnet people who helped to develop the automobile industry. And we have the gentleman here, Joe Rundle, who is a sculptor. You might have seen some of that stuff on TV. He's here because he's the person that's going to lead this effort. And I hope that when we get it started, that some of you will send some of the money to this effort so that we do develop a lasting testimony for the Tuskegee Airmen in Clio, Michigan. Clio, Michigan is a farming community. but it's just between Frankie Moose and Flint, so it's a great column to have this memorial in the name of the Tuskegee Airmen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions or?
What is the date and the location of the Tuskegee dinner this year?
What's the what?
The date and location of the Tuskegee dinner?
Salute.
The chapter dinner?
The annual salute,
The annual salute.
that's from the museum. And it's going to be in October. The date hasn't been selected because we're trying to let the guest speaker choose the date. The date hasn't been selected yet. It's going to be one of the 3 weekends of October.
Yeah.
And right now, I'll let you know, we're going after Vice Admiral Howard, I think it is. She's a black female vice admiral in the Navy that's 3-star, and she was commander of the task force that rescued the captain from the Maersk, Alabama. If you remember some of those scenes, there was a kind of short, light-skinned black woman that was escorting the captain when he got rescued, when he got on a Navy ship. I mean, she was maybe less than 2 seconds showing on film, but she was the actual Joint Task Force commander. Now she's a 3-star vice admiral. We're trying to invite her to be our guest speaker this year.
Good. Okay.
Anything, any other?
Question back there.
Okay.
I think you'll agree with me that probably nobody has a more dramatic story, than Dick Macon.
Oh, boy.
And I think your audience would enjoy hearing that story, and then I'm going to ask you a question about it privately after.
Good. Dick Macon was shot down on the same mission that I was shot down. He woke up the next day. The German had him, and I met him 2 nights later in a barn. It was dark. He was laying in some hay, and I turned over. That's when I met him. Had a broken neck, and a broken collarbone. So Dick Macon, Robert Daniels, and I went up the Rhone Valley, and they put Dick in a German hospital. We all came back, and he went to Indiana University as a math instructor. Finally, in Detroit, math teacher, principal of Northern High School, and later in human resources. Dick Macon and I were together.
The drama I was talking about, though, was
When he
the
got-
firing
when they-
squad.
Yeah.
When he was almost
The firing
executed. Yeah. the
Almost firing
executed
squad.
before the
Oh, that's
Allies-
another story.
Right,
They almost executed him.
just when the rescuers were coming.
Right.
It was amazing.
Is there any, did I see another hand?
Can you speak to the treatment of black airmen at Oscoda?
Oscoda, when the guys finished Tuskegee, they came but in the 553rd Air Training Squadron, 553rd at Oscoda. They go up to Oscoda for gunnery. And while at Oscoda, they suffered many iniquities back and forth. They were not liked by the community, naturally. They caught resistance in the community, and later on were sent back to Selfridge, base of Selfridge. They were only there for gunnery while they were there. I never went up to Oscoda. They had already stopped us from going up there. But any others?
Any other questions?
I was just wondering what type of aircraft you were trained in before you finally flew in combat.
What were you trained in? What kind of plane were you trained on?
Kind of, what plane were you trained in before you went to combat?
We flew P-40s. When you graduated at Tuskegee, you stayed there for 1 month flying the P-40, 10 hours. You came up to Selfridge flying the P-39. That's a crazy one with the engine behind you with a long drive shaft. When I got overseas, I flew the P-51 Mustang. Some of the other guys flew P-47s, the Jugs. But that was it. P-41, the 51 Mustang.
What model Mustangs did you have?
C, the Razorback. I was supposed to get a bubble canopy the next day. The damn thing was sitting there waiting for me to come back. I got shot down.
Anybody? Any other questions?
Lady here.
Yeah.
Well, my question, while you was at Selfridge, did they allow you off the base to come into any of the cities surrounding did you go to Mount Clemens or Port Huron or any of those places? And how long did you stay at Selfridge?
I was there for approximately 3 months. I did not have any contact with Mount Clemens. We'd leave Selfridge and go down Groesbeck, 97, 70 miles an hour. I knew every cop along the way. Going down to the valley. I never had, Black Bottom, down to the valley. The 3.6s, oh God. Yes, the plane, show bar. But I had no contact with the neighborhood at all.
So when you went back to Tuskegee, it was still segregated then?
Oh,
right?
yes.
So were y'all harassed at all?
I never went downtown on the weekends. Some of the guys went to Tuskegee, the town, downtown. I never went because there was a marshal, a cop, and his name was Pat Evans. Pat Evans wore a Texas sombrero, and he wore his gun cowboy style. And he used to brag about the number of heads he whipped on Saturday night. I never went downtown. I really didn't want to come in contact with Pat Evans.
So when you left there and went to Europe,
Yeah.
okay, how were you treated per se as a squadron? Were you given extra training or were you told that you couldn't do whatever?
Our training was exactly the training as the other whites. When we got overseas, we were treated as American soldiers. We were big and bad, with a second with a guard, with a set of wings. You couldn't tell us anything else. Wherever we went, we were respected.
Colonel.
What was your airplane's name?
Oh,
And how did he get that name?
Margot was about that tall. She had green eyes, brown hair, and about 110. I met Margot at Howard University. She had my nose wide open. You could drive a truck through, man. I put her name on my airplane. And as a POW, I found out Margot sent me a Dear John letter. But I got news for you. Margot was in Washington, D.C. Lillian was in Atlanta. Marguerite was in Chicago. Who was in Detroit? One gal was in Detroit. You know, we had a woman in every city. But it was great.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Did you have a nickname or a call sign?
Did I do what?
A nickname or a call
A
sign.
nickname or a call sign?
No, I was Bubble Blue 4. Red, white, yellow, blue. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bubble, that was our call sign. The 99th was, God, I can't remember the 99th. Our bubble, we were the 301st. Red, white, yellow, blue. And then back here, Bubble Blue 4. When they holler Bubble Blue 4, automatically that's me. Macon was in the 99th. Counter. The 99th was counter, and he was counter red 2 or counter red 3, something like that. We knew by your call sign exactly who you wanted to talk to.
Any other?
Yeah, right here.
Oh,
What was the percentage of Michigan pilots
Michigan pilots?
in Tuskegee Airmen?
I don't know. But looking down, see, I've got a whole list of the pilots. And I'm listening to Kermit and Ralph Mason, me. Approximately 10 to 15 were from Detroit. 15 out of the 900. We came from all over the United States. All over the United States. When it was opened up for blacks. But it was exciting.
Sounds it.
Yeah, we had a hell of a good time. I tell everybody. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Even being a POW. Somebody, were you scared? Ironically, I was never afraid until the day Danny and the 2 guards were taking us from Frankfurt to getting on the train and going through this German village. The Hitler Youth saw us and started ranting and raving back and forth, arousing the rest of the town. Robert Daniels, Dick Macon, and me, and the 2 German guards. They were lynching blacks in Mississippi then. And the German youth, and the people in the town start gathering. Hell, there were 50 or 75 people. They're ranting and raving, scared the hell out of us. The German guards had to level their rifles to get us back on the train, and the damn train started off. Only time I got scared. Bailing out? Hell, that's no big deal. POW life? No big deal. Eating that German bread? No big deal. Oh, by the way, German bread weighed 9 pounds. Flour was at a premium. So, in order to fill your stomach, what did they put into the flour to make up the dough?
Wood.
Sawdust.
Wood.
Germany. Food was at a premium. Back in the States, we were fat, dumb, and happy. We had stamps. Sugar was at a premium. Oh my God, couldn't get gasoline. But in Germany, things were different. I only lost 3 pounds. Hell, I only started out at 115. Some of the guys, see, I was only there 9 months. Some of the guys were there 3 years. They went in 1942 in North Africa. They lost 6 or 8 pounds. If it had been for for International Red Cross food parcels, we would have starved. But that's another story.
So, when did your parents find out that you weren't dead? Because you said they were notified you were killed in action.
When did your parents find out you were dead?
Oh, a month later. When the International Red Cross was in the camp and sent a message back, and my parents got it. I went down in August, September, October. They found out I was a POW. Meanwhile, they thought I was dead because they got a KIA.
Are your children or grandchildren in the military?
What's that?
Are your children or grandchildren in the military?
Nope. Only one daughter. She died about 10 years ago.
Were you there to receive the gold medal? I see you have it on, so how did it feel?
The Congressional Gold Medal, issued to all Tuskegee Airmen, not to a person, but to the unit for service to the country. Congressional Gold Medal. Good. Oh, yeah. I was there.
And you shook whose hand?
If you ever see a picture of Bush, the guy in the blue coat Was me. You see a guy shaking hands, and I have to admit, I had to put my hand over my mouth to keep from asking Bush why we got in a war in Iraq. Iraq was holding Iran. When we went in and got rid of Saddam Hussein, and the whole goddamn thing, sorry, the whole thing opened up.
You're
But
military, man.
that's another story.
The blue color, what does that do?
Oh, the Detroit chapter in 1972, oh, by the way, Ernie Brown and Wardell Polk and 4 or 5 other guys got together in 1972. Before 1972, there was no Tuskegee Airmen chapters. They got together in my basement because my wife died. So I didn't have any old lady. They got together in my basement and we started the Detroit chapter of Tuskegee Airmen. First chapter. And Ernie Brown was elected as the first president. And we chose blue. Yeah.
That's my father.
Stand up so folks can see you, honey child.
He was
Hey.
also my 3rd grade science teacher. Right, and my father was also the founder of the Black Historic Sites Committee.
That's right.
I'm working my way back here. I retired from Detroit 3 years ago. I taught history for 38 years.
See how things come back to you? And a circle, they come back to you. So we decided on blue because Washington, D.C. decided on red. Some of the chapter has a different color. But we are the blue coats. Yeah.
Whenever you see those blue coats.
What was Coleman Alexander?
Oh, Coleman Young.
Yes.
What was his? What part did he play?
We used to get drunk together. The B-25s at Godman Field, Kentucky, had to have a navigator tell the pilot which way to go. Coleman Young was a navigator in the B-25 outfit. He was one of the 100 officers who were arrested for refusing to sign their names. Stay with us. Colonel Selway made an illegal order ordering the men to sign their names to a letter which said that they would not enter a white officers club. They refused to sign their names and they were arrested. Why? Failure to follow a direct order. And the arrest was put in their records until who took the records up? Who expunged them from their records?
Clinton.
President Clinton.
Yeah, wow.
It's stated, by the way, what do you call the damn thing?
Mutiny at Freeman Field?
Yep, yeah. It was mutiny at Freeman Field. Mutiny and court-martial.
It was
Insubordination.
no promotion. They were fined $100 or whatever it was, and it stayed in the record.
Article 13.
Article 13, until President Clinton expunged them.
Did that trigger any dishonorable discharges? Because
No, I don't think they got it.
Roger Terry convicted one guy.
Oh, they convicted Roger Terry.
Right.
Because Roger Terry happened to bump up against one of the officers on the door. Aggravated assault. Aggravated assault.
Well, but did he get,
You got cleared in
what he
19.
cleared?
Yes.
Yeah, he was cleared, but hell, he was cleared 40 years later.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he could not pass the bar in California because he had been arrested. He was a felon. Roger Terry was a felon, and couldn't pass the bar as a lawyer.
What did Coleman Young tell him when they revoked his,
Take it and shove it. With his expletive language.
The only way Coleman could say. Is there any other questions?
Okay,
We have no more questions?
I think I've
Have you
expounded.
have you talked? No, never. I want to thank you.
Oh, I've got, oh, anybody, if I sell out of books, I've got a little slip for those of you who would want a book later on.
Well, we're
They
gonna
said,
let you, we're gonna let you sell what you have, and then we can take names for every,
Names,
for the others.
good.
I want to thank you.
Thank you, folks.
As the, I want to say thank you to American heroes and the heroes that are in this room. On behalf of Lieutenant Charles Goldsby, Tuskegee first class, Tuskegee Airmen first class, and Lieutenant Colonel Harold Hoskins Sr., second class, both Tuskegee Airmen. As the niece and the godchild, I have heard these stories all my life, and I'm still in awe. Every day. They are both gone, but we are very fortunate to have still some here with us, and especially this one right here. So we thank you tonight on behalf of the Mount Historic Sites Committee. And don't leave without getting a book or getting a slip, so we can make sure that you read the stories, the true stories. Have a good evening.
Okay.